Hey world, it's being willing to come back with another video. Fam, I wanted to just come back with a quick video. Came across something on the wire. I said, man, I want to go in the garden real quick to kind of bring some real news to your attention because see, so many times we don't hear about all the real news. And I want to bring news to you that can give you a broader perspective of things that goes on that a lot of times you may not hear about. All right, because you'll hear about Cuba Gooden Jr. Getting arrested for sexual assault, right? For grabbing someone's, I guess what they say, groped someone in a nightclub. I think he was intoxicated. He allegedly had groped someone in a nightclub. I thought people used to get arrested for public intoxication, but he didn't get arrested for that. Someone, I think a young lady said that he grabbed her breast, and he was arrested for sexual assault. Okay, see, to me, that's fake news. The real news would be, why hasn't it been reported, and why haven't these priests been arrested that were involved in the lawsuit of $300 million that the Catholic Church had to pay for sexual assault cases? Who were these victims? Who were the priests? And if Cuba Gooden Jr. has been arrested for groping someone in a nightclub, and this is Cuba Gooden Jr., right? Not to condone it, but the reputation. This is supposed to be a quote unquote celebrity, right? Oh, that's right. He ain't made a move in a long time, and so he need to be on the fake news, right? So, because anybody smiling that much, I don't know if you've seen him, check him out. Smiling that much, going to court for sexual assault, he already know what it is, right? And so, but we don't know which families received $300 million for a lawsuit about Vatican priests, raping kids. Why don't they go to prison? Shouldn't there be like a reversal confession booth, like all the Catholic priests that be sexually assaulting kids? Shouldn't they be able to go in and confess to like the police? And then once they confess to the police, then you have a couple of officers waiting outside the booth to go ahead and take them to prison, right? And let them be with the general population of prisoners. Wouldn't that would be like poetic justice, right? Because as citizens and Catholics and Christians, allegedly, you go into the booth for confessions. And who you're confessing to, or who's on the other side, is normally a Catholic priest, right? So if all these priests, or most of these priests, are raping kids, shouldn't they have to go confess that? Or shouldn't that be like already innate in them to do that, because they teach the people, the congregation, to have to, man, for your sins, you have to, come to terms with it by confessing your sins. Okay, and you go in there, you confess your sins, and you're talking to an individual. Okay, shouldn't that same individual that you confessing your sins to, shouldn't, if they raping kids, have it already in them? No one should tell them to actually go in, and they already know that on the other side is a police officer. Just like when the congregation or when citizens go in to confess, they automatically know it's a Catholic priest there, it's a father there, right? They know that, right? And so that's why a lot of people are feeling bad, because they're like, man, I'm going in here, wow, right? So the priest that's raping kids should automatically know that, okay, when I go confess my sins, I'm going to go and confess. It's going to be a police officer on the other side right there, right? Because we all know that when you go in there and confess your sins as individuals, you're not just confessing them to the Catholic priest. There is some higher power that you're actually confessing to. Okay, I'm dig? So the priest knows that, okay, not only am I confessing to the police, I'm also confessing to a higher power. So I want my retribution. I want what's supposed to happen to me, right? And so when he leaves out of there, he goes, he gets arrested, he's thrown in general population in prison. Okay? See, that's, to me, that would be real, right? So fake news, Cuba Gooding Jr. being arrested for sexual assault for groping a female in the club. He's supposed to be allegedly a celebrity, but we know how that go. That's fake news. Real news, $300 million paid to families because Catholic priests are raping kids. See the difference? Fake news. Guys, remember when they talked about the caravan and how they had all these illegal immigrants or these illegals coming, trying to perpetrate the Mexican border to get to America, right? Coming from the, the Northern Triangle, right? Like Honduras and El Salvador, right? And then so it wasn't the quote unquote Mexican immigrants or Mexican people, perpetrating illegal immigration. It was allegedly these people from the Northern Triangle, El Salvador, Honduras, right? Well, to me, that's fake news, right? Because we've seen that with the cameras. They show all these people, right? They never actually showed us all these kids that were detained in these centers. That's fake news. What's news, real news is where and how did thousands of Congolese illegal immigrants come from? We know they come from the Congo, Africa, right? In Congo, Africa. How do they get over here? And how is it that in San Antonio right now, they have this huge influx of illegal immigrants coming in from the Congo? Congolese people? How? And how is it that not only are they in San Antonio, they're moving up north to other states? Family, that's real news. And to me, it's real news because these are Afro-melanated people, right? How does that... First of all, I got 3 questions. First of all, how did illegal immigrants from Congo get here? Okay. Why did they come here? Because they held an asylum over there in the Mexican border, and a lot of them have crossed into San Antonio. And who paid for it? Come on, man. Now they talk about sex trafficking. They talk about trafficking of people. How does that happen? That you have, thousands of illegal immigrants from the Congo. Now, family, if you don't know anything about the Congo, Congo is a country in Africa, right? And the Congolese people have their share of atrocities pertaining to their history. If you didn't know, back in the 19th century, early 20th century, the Congo was occupied, colonized, imperialized by the Belgian people. Actually, the guy was King Leopold. And King Leopold, and this is something that is out there where you can just Google this, right? King Leopold, who was over the Congolese people, actually killed and massacred over half of the people. New York Times, other sources that say over 8 to 10 million people were killed in the Congo, citizens of the Congo. Now, that wasn't considered a Holocaust. That wasn't considered a massacre. I mean, we don't even know about that. These are Afro-melanated people, okay? And now, 200 years later, 150-some years later, you have the same people from the Congo coming to America as illegal immigrants, and now they don't know what to do with them. That's real news, all right? Matter of fact, let's get into it.
Last night, we were the only show in all of cable news to bring you the story of hundreds upon hundreds of Congolese immigrants being dropped off in San Antonio after crossing the border. But for many of them, that is not the final stop. San Antonio's assistant city manager, Dr. Colleen Bridger, revealed this to a local CBS station. Quote, "The plan was 350 of them would travel from San Antonio to Portland, as in Portland, Maine. When we reached out to Portland, Maine, they said, please don't send us any more. We're already stretched way beyond our capacity. Now,
now if you don't know Portland, Maine, come on, man, Maine, that's way northeast. What is it, about maybe 200 Afro-melanated people in Maine? Now you guys have a huge influx of illegal immigrants in Maine? Doing what? And if you check the numbers, family, over 90% of the resources that they use in Maine right now for, public service, illegal immigrant services, whatnot, illegal immigrant assistance, 90% of those resources are going to people from the Congo, Congolese people. How is that possible? And how did they get over here, and who paid for it? Check it out, family. I mean, it's crazy. To me, that's real news, right? Fake news, before I get up out of here, fake news. Donald Trump is losing in the polls to 5 Democrat presidential nominees, or Democrat presidential people running. What? Who he losing to? Let's see. Creepy Joe Biden? Bernie Sanders? Kirsten Gilliam or Gilligram, whatever her name is, who was faking with the she had something on showing that she was cooking, and it came right out of the package, like she'd never cooked before because it had the lines in it. Okay. Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, the openly gay presidential Democratic person running. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Who? That's fake news. The president right now of the United States, y'all saying, are losing in the polls to at least 5 Democratic presidential nominees. Really? Or candidates. Really? That's crazy, man. That's fake news. Okay? What's real news is, the stock market gonna crash soon. And it has all the indicators out there. What's real news is you probably want to start saving some money and putting it in accounts where you know it's going to grow your money. That's real news, okay? So family, I just want to come back with a little food for thought. Thank you for joining me in the garden. Like I said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And guys, I know you kind of see the painting back there. That's a beautiful painting right there. It's actually titled Defeated with a question mark. All right? And I tell you what, that artist actually here is in H-Town. This is an original piece. And like I say, I tell you what, some of you guys, and we've all been there, where you feel defeated, right? But it's something in your soul. Because remember, anything that you need in this life is already inside of you. All right? And so anytime you feel defeated, right, just know that there's an inner strength inside of you. And so if you look at that painting right there, right? And I'm gonna screenshot it, family, and I'm gonna put it, I'm gonna post it in my description box. Actually, I'm gonna screenshot it and I'm gonna post it, all right, for the family in the garden, because I want you to actually see the significance of it. Because so many times we gotta understand, even in this economically, politically, socially, right? You never defeated, all right? And that's why when she painted this, she made sure that question mark was at the end of defeated, all right? And if you actually kind of look at it, believe in your heart and soul that you can get up out of that chair, and it'll happen. All right? So, guys, once again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. In the meantime, between time, once again, may the Most High inside you bring you joy. And being with is out of 5,000.